Right, so I'm going to start by first choosing a landscape size that I want to hit. So I'm just going to open up my calculator. I know that I want each tile, or one tile, to be 1009. So let's go for we can try 8. It might be very taxing on the machine, but I'd like to try it, or it might be a terrible idea. And that would give you 8072, no, about 64 square kilometer terrain. Now that might be incredibly high and very taxing on the machine, but let's see if it doesn't work. Doesn't work, I mean, much to say about that. 8072. And then quickly the next step I want to do is just edit some shape here. Let's create a basic shape. Let's and the rest I'm just going to leave default. You can see it's getting clipped there in the back because it's so long. Alright, let's see. I'm going to add a few filters here. Here. Okay. Start with erosion. Fluvial. And then I'm gonna add erosion, just normal. Right? And I'm not gonna go too crazy here. Rocky hills or mountains? Let's try mountains. Ridged. Ridged I should have probably put first. Let's put ridged. Yeah, for erosion. And then I'm just gonna add a smooth. I'm not crazy about terraced. So add a smooth here at the end. Just to make it look like something. That's the terrain I'm going to be importing. Right, so let's just save this. I'm just going to put it here in the drive. Right. The texture. Let's start by adding. I'm going to start with grass. And for this, I'm just going to choose a grassy texture. Fine, this is not going to get exported. So I'm not even going to bother playing around with the, you know, with the map scale, because I don't care. Let's add the next layer, and I'm going to call this sand. I'm going to try and keep it the same as that I did previously, so then I know at least it. So for this one, what I want to do is I want to do a slope select, and I think I said I want to make it between 10. I think it was between 10 and I think it was 50. But then I also included cavity and I said concave. So that's sort of how I got that filled in look. Now keep in mind this is an incredibly large terrain. You're going to be walking around here. It's very, very large. So I might have to redo this video. Right, let's save that. And then let's add our next. I'm gonna go for rock, so I want some sort of rocky rockness. Ground frozen. What are some stone? See, rock dark. This is just gonna be pure slope select, and I'm gonna go from 60 to 90. You'll see there it's now because I'm not I haven't scaled this the map size. It's gonna look horrible because it's repeating, and that's fine. All right, I'm not going to be using the these textures anyway. This is just to give me a rough idea. Now you could come in here and start playing around with your map. Save this with your map and texture sizes. Oh, sorry, this is wrong. I should have actually added a. I prefer having these in a layer rather than just putting them in like that. And let's just quickly redo this slope select. And I said it's between 60 and 90. Save it. And you could now go in and tweak more stuff here, whatever you wanted to. I might even go in here and add another smoothing here, and then just put it between erosion and mountains. Smooth ridges. So if I move this, see what it does. I haven't done this. Breaking everything. Don't like it. Remove it. Smooth ridges. Anyway, I mean, there are a lot of great tutorials out there on how to use World Creator 2. So let's move on to the more important part, which is getting this massive terrain into Unreal Engine as a tiled world. Okay, the first step is I'm going to go to export. I'm going to make sure I'm on terrain height map. That's what I want. Raw, best fit is fine. I don't care. Little endian is right because I'm running on Windows. You need to make sure you're on the right operating system. I'm going to choose 16-bit. And I'm going to make sure this is Unreal. Now, you do need to also keep in mind, it's going to give you a scale Z here that you can see my mouse cursor is over. It's 197.30, so I'm going to just remember that. I can type correctly. 197.3. I don't care about the position Z because I'm going to use world composition to move the terrain around, so I'm not too worried about it. And then I am going to flip the Y. If you do not flip the Y here and you export, you have to flip the Y in Unreal Engine, otherwise the terrain isn't going to match. If you flip the Y in Unreal Engine and you export your heat maps, with this current setup that I have here, and this current version of Unreal Engine and this current version of World Creator 2, there's no way to flip the Y coordinate on the import. And if you flip it here on export and don't flip it on import there, it actually, you don't flip it here and then you have to flip it using some other tool, and I don't know how to do that. So it's just easier, flip the Y in World Creator 2 and don't flip it in Unreal Engine. We're going to do the same thing for the heat map, and hopefully it should work. No, this terrain isn't the best looking terrain. I'm taking because I just added a few filters. I could have added a few better ones. You can see the fluvial erosion is a little bit harsh. So it's probably not the best. See, maybe I can knock down the fluvial erosion a little bit. See, machine is taking a bit of strain now. Maybe I can just hide the textures. See, and then bridge the erosion down as well. Right, something like that maybe. And then smooth. Oh, still pretty harsh. Probably should have added maybe a hill or something in between as well. See what happens. Didn't add rocky hills. No. Didn't add rocky hills. See what happens. Incredibly. Oh. Yeah, this is probably something you'd want to do in an area. Drop it down. Do a little bit of a different. What else can we add? I don't care about canyons. Paris. Doesn't always work for me. Yeah. Probably also something you'd want to do area based. Oh, it's horrible. And it does kind of give it an interesting look. But like I said, there's a lot of better tutorials and ways out there. I'm just playing around. Alright, let's start exporting this and get this into Unreal Engine and see if we get the same result. If I did want a mountain, for example, could do is just shape again. And just pull this up. Now it's going to take a while, and it usually does. I'm not sure if it's the textures it's called, or if it's the all the filters I've got applied. Like it's all the filters. And yeah, this is a I'm running a GTX 1080 fairly new i7. Fairly new, I mean. Okay, let's save that. Fairly new i7. Right. I don't think this is looking too bad. It's not too horrible. And then in Unreal Engine, you can come in here and you can smooth these out with a brush, and you can brush over these with time. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's export this. So we got flip white ticked. I want to flip the white when I export. I'm going to split it. I'm going to choose 1009. 1009. Make sure it's the same. I'm going to include the border. That's why we're using these weird, funky numbers. Right. Let's do it. I'm going to hit export. So I'm first doing the height map. Now my the scale Z has changed to 219.07. 219.07. 219.07. I need to remember that. Hit export. I'm just going to drop this in the temp drive. Right, it's going to take a little while. Might as well take a quick break here.